How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to show you how to install our lower control arm on your car. This car has been previously worked on, so it's got some aftermarket bolts up here. I'm going to start by basically, you guys got to get the car up in the air safely, get the tire off the car that you're installing the control arm on, everything nice and safe, jack stands or a nice lift. After that, these 3 bolts will actually be 14 millimeters. Like I said, this car has been previously worked on. We're going to try to use it for the show. On the screen right here, I'm going to show you guys, I'll show you guys what the factory one looks like. But we're going to start right here by removing these 3 bolts, and I'm going to, so when you remove this, it is going to allow the arm to fall down because of the spring is holding it, basically is holding the arm up and the trailer arm holding it up. This car is on the lift, so I'm just going to tuck one of these under here. It's going to fall a tiny bit onto this jack stand right here, and I'm going to start by removing one side right here. You guys got it. You guys saw there's a little tension right there. It kind of pops it down. Now the spring is holding up the rest of the control arm. Let me get these bolts in my pocket. Now we're going to remove the portion where the spring, your coilover, would be attached to. And then we're gonna take the last bolt down over here, and just so you guys know, this rear diff plate, it doesn't make a difference if it's here or not. The bolt is still the same, the process is still the same, even though it's just, this has a hole down in there for our rear differential mount. But same process, we're gonna move this last bolt. Now guys, definitely be careful with these bolts. If you have factory arms and stuff here, they do tend to get rusted and stuff like that, so definitely be careful. If you got to do your lubricants and stuff to get the bolts out, do them by hand and not use a gun so that they don't snap as easy. But that's the removal of the factory arm. And now I'm going to put these down for a sec. And I'm going to grab our adjustable billet lower control arm, and as you can see here, the same way it went in, you have the 2 bolts closer to each other for the trailing arm side and the side for the spring, and then the adjustment point will go towards the body. Now when you get down to this adjustment point, you want to make sure that the bolts, you guys, I can show you like this maybe. You guys want to have these adjustments kind of bottomed out. You don't want to have one side, like if I take it right here, I can take one side out a lot farther than the opposite side. So I want these all the way in, basically completely flush to start. So I'm going to start with both ends tightened basically all the way. So now you don't see any threads. What we're going to do is you're going to grab this center portion to adjust, and not just adjust one end or the other, so both ends move out evenly. We're gonna get to install. I'm gonna start on the side of the body frame side. I'm gonna get those jiggling up and down, get that in. Let me put my nut on the back of this. And now to show you guys how this adjusts, since it's hanging here. So what I don't want to do is just spin one side. That's what I don't want to do. So if I spin one side will not be even than the other, and you don't want to have that because you'll have one thread out a little bit too much than the other side. So what we do is I'm holding this portion, the lower portion of it, and you just spin the center and it spins both sides at the same time. So now you can see these both going out and in, and that would be for your adjustments for your alignment, and as well as makes it a little bit easier to install because you could kind of move these two holes a little bit in a direction where you need. So I'm just going to leave these loose for now to make the install a little bit easier. I'll just leave it maybe 3 turns out, and then I'll start there. So we're going to come here to the, get it in my pocket, but we're going to start here at the billet fork. I'm going to bring this billet fork bolt through, and I'm just putting everything on by hand right now. I'm going to tighten it at the end. So everything is just on by hand, and then we're going to go to the rear trailing arm side. Got to lift this up a little bit to get it centered, and we're on the rear trailing arm side. Now I'm going to tighten everything. We do recommend tightening everything to a factory torque spec, same as factory torque spec. Well, I'm just going to tighten everything, just snug it for this video. I'll tighten that. I'm going to come here. Gonna come here. So now the rest of the portion, obviously you want to get your car safely back on the ground after you install your wheel. This is going to be something for a professional alignment person to do, but now that it's on the car, you guys can kind of look maybe to make it even. So basically, like, you don't want this too far out because it'll move your tire too far. You don't want it too far in because your tire will be too far in, so you guys can kind of eyeball it until you get to the alignment rack. And you can just spin this right here, and you're going to want to lock these two into place until you get to the alignment rack, and the alignment person should be able to align this properly. They know what they're doing. That's pretty much it, guys. You know, if you have any more questions about this, I hope I covered everything for the lower control arm install.
You grip it, don't get caught. Slipping S1 all-wheel drive.